is 8:40 a.m. and I'm on my way to work. I'm headed to work not only to do my work, but we have a mentor opportunity today, an mentoring event where some local high school kids are coming, and we're gonna, I don't know, show them financial literacy or do something like that. So I volunteered for that, and that's why I'm headed in earlier than usual. Um, anyway, I'm going to talk about that in a next episode. It might be on the same drive because I'm in bumper-to-bumper traffic on this beautiful 85 South in Atlanta, Georgia. Anyway, I had the insight a few minutes ago while I was sitting in stillness. Sitting in stillness, basically, so like, what that means is it's my kind of version of prayer sometimes, where oftentimes people think, prayer is relational, where you say some things and then you listen to God within your life. Stillness for me and for others is where you get real quiet, where you let the mind settle. And to do that while driving, you get really focused on the drive. You obviously pay attention intently to all the cars. You feel your hands on the steering wheel, and you put all of your attention into your sensory experience of driving, which then takes attention away from the thinking mind. And as the thinking mind is taken away by your attention elsewhere, it's like the clouds of thoughts begin to part, and insights and creativity then shine on through. And this isn't just some woo-woo wacky thing that I've made up. Well documented, and try it for yourself. If you don't believe me, try it yourself. I'm from Missouri. The saying there is the show me state. You got to show me. So try it out. Anyway, I had an insight while sitting in the stillness that there is nothing that is not a part of God. Nothing is not a part of God. The air, the trees, the concrete beneath the truck that I'm driving, me, you, my cat, your dog, Johnny's fish, the water in the lake. Everything is connected to source, to all of creation. Now, to come to that conclusion, I would like to bring up evolution. And evolution is one of those things that when you talk about spirituality or God, it comes across as taboo. That if you are a believer or experience or knower of God or the creator or source, that you cannot simultaneously give credence to evolution. Or if you do, you believe in it partially, and likely you give up or reject that life started somehow through evolution. But I'm not sure why or how that came to be, because could science not merely be an interpretation of God's handiwork? Could the observations of this natural world that is God's creation simply be the findings that God left for us to look at and see what he did and to look at his miracle? I don't know. I've always thought evolution and God would go hand in hand, that is his creation. Not that they're opposites, but the same side of the same coin, or however that phrase goes. Anyway, if we look at that, we play with this idea. I don't know shit. This is just what feels right to me. So take as you will. That being said, if we go back, we're humans. Let's say we did the whole chimp thing before, blah, blah. Go further back, and you keep going back to simpler and simpler organisms until billions of years ago, you got down to a single cell. Now, the jump from organic matter to that cell, they haven't figured out really, But they do know that if you have organic matter, you have the ingredients for life, life is then possible to be spontaneous, to be created out of that. So with that, if you just have organic matter, if you have the carbon, the nitrogen, the oxygen, in the configurations that are there that breed organic life, that can create life, does that not also impose or suppose, or whatever the word is, that all matter implicitly has life in it if it's in the right configuration? There's over 100 elements on the periodic table, and it just so happens that these certain elements on this planet, if configured the right way, these certain elements can create life. Is it not possible that maybe other elements can? And if so, anything can impose life. And if anything can create life, all elements have the potential for life, and we are all connected to God, then that doesn't mean all atoms, everything here is then connected also to God. It's all from God. But then even if your physical form, this body that I'm temporarily inhabiting, when it goes away, that won't be the end. In the sense that you've seen near-death experiences and things that where people, when they go, or when they're about to go, they radically feel different. They merge with this thing that it's indescribable, and it feels like ultimate love. And they get that feeling once this body is deteriorating. Countless examples of this. If you don't believe this either, look up near-death experiences on YouTube. Hundreds of videos of people saying similar things about how when the body was starting to die or to dissolve, to go away, that something much greater could be felt underneath. So if we are connected to God and we are living things, and then we've also said that from an evolutionary standpoint, right before the cell you had organic matter, and that organic matter there's a potentiality for life, and if we all have souls, then that must mean that all matter has the potentiality for soul. So it's all connected to God. And then if your body disintegrates and then there's nothing, you still can have like a near-death experience being connected to pure love. Then that means nothingness too must also be a part of God. And so there you have it. We rounded the bags. Anything, everything is connected to God. Nothing is not connected to God, to life, to all there is. And I think that's deeply important, especially as humans, naturally social creatures that have I was going to say desperation, but I don't know if that's the right word, a need to feel connected. And it's so easily to get trapped in your own thoughts, in your own head, to worry about my life and the things going on in it, to encapsulate your own suffering and to feel secluded. But there is nothing on this earth that is not connected to the same thing. It's one ginormous family that we cannot begin to even understand. And if you want to feel this for yourself, I would encourage you to look into sitting into stillness. Because this idea that came to me, And to be completely honest with you, when I sit in that stillness, when I let the ego go, when I let this guy named Alex, this white dude with glasses, when he disappears through absence of thought, and he just becomes so present, there's just beingness. There's just consciousness. There's just the isness. And when you can sit in that space, it is the most peaceful, alive thing that I've ever felt. And it would be my deepest wish that everyone got to experience that, to see what I'm talking about. To not me. I only learned this from spiritual people. I don't want to take no credit for nothing. Let's make that perfectly clear. I've a lot of Eastern traditions: Buddhism, Taoism, Hinduism, the Sufis and Islam, mystic Christianity, all of the kind of mystic traditions talk about this experiential aspect of God. And a lot of it has to do with getting silent and just letting there be consciousness. And if you tap into this, you feel what I'm saying to be true, of what any of those things are saying to be true. That nothing is not connected to God, and that all life, all matter, no matter, nothingness is all pure consciousness, which is ultimately the connection or source to the divine. The other thing I wanted to bring up is, at your source is feeling. Pure feeling. I think of Wim Hof when I say that. Wim Hof, if you don't know, what do you say, an Amsterdam guy? A Netherlands boy? Holland? He's Holland. No. What do you call someone from the Netherlands? Dutch. He's a Dutchman. We got there. Dutchman, he's the one that it's really popularized ice baths and the Wim Hof breathing method, like breath work. He's really popularized breath work as well as the cold baths and stuff. Anyway, he goes into those baths, and when he does, he talks about how the mind shuts off. Another example. And he said, for him, he says it's pure feeling, just feeling, no thought. Kind of what we're talking about. And then that made me realize something too. When we're obviously like thinking, we're thinking all day long. The default mode network, the area of the brain responsible for mind wandering, going. The clouds of the mind are heavy. A lot of us don't tap into feeling or intuition as much as we could. And in Western culture and the society these days, it's all about thinking, being proactive, thinking ahead, learning from mistakes. And it's our biological wiring of survival turned into madness and stress. I say that because with this kind of experiential idea of pure feeling, of beingness, of sitting in stillness, and what Wim Hof is talking about, just feeling, at your core, you are being. You are just feeling. And so it's much more important to feel than to think. If you don't believe me, to be able to think, you must be conscious. You must be awake. To be able to listen to me, you must be awake. To hear, to see things, to feel hungry, to eat food, to think, you must be conscious. You must be. Like right now, you're looking at me. And from here to here, were you thinking? You were just being. You were just there. An open canvas. And in these traditions that I'm talking about, they say that is the core of you. Is just beingness, is consciousness. That is your true source. That is your soul. That is connected to God, is just beingness. If you sat in stillness and just be, and let this little ego, this little person, it falls away. And it's like a healthy detachment from this world of coming and going. Everything's going to change. Like that car you saw, now it's gone. And if you think that this person is all you are, you have a life of suffering, because things will change, this body will deteriorate. And even for this person, it's much easier to identify with something that is not fleeting. And so for your whole life, you are this beingness, this background, just open, empty container that lets life flow through. So I ask, not me, why do I keep saying that? Tap into yourself, feel, just be. Put your attention into your hands and feet. Put it into your body. Put your attention into the sights around you, to the people that you listen to your footsteps walking, into the sensation of air going through your nose, and the feeling of the sun on your skin. The more you take your attention out of your mind and into feeling, you get closer to God, and you can feel that connection to God, and you can feel for yourself that nothing is not connected to God. Thanks.